We're going to go over the general principles for fast swimming and what they look like so that you can learn to see these skills in action. And so one of the most important skills is to create a lot of propulsion. And one of the most important things to do in order to create a lot of propulsion is to create a big surface area with the arm or the leg. And that's what we're going to go over today. So the first place we're going to take a look at is in sprint freestyle. And what you can see here is that the athletes are creating a big surface area. You can see that whole forearm, the whole arm is going to be used to move water backwards. And then the other athlete above him, right there, you can see the whole arm is being used to create propulsion. So we'll watch it again here. Right there, there's a huge surface area that's moving directly backwards, and that's going to move the athlete forwards. And so with the arms, it's about creating a huge surface area and then getting into that surface area in the sprints right away, and that's going to be critical for fast swimming. So here we'll take a look at the same thing with an endurance athlete, and you can see here, right in this position, there's a huge surface area, and that surface area is going to be moving backwards. And so with each stroke, instead of just using the hands, the athlete's going to be able to use the whole arm, especially the forearm and the hand, to create speed and help them move forwards. And so that's one example. Let's take a look at another. So another athlete here. This is over a 400-meter race. Again, a really big surface area that's moving straight backwards, and that's what's going to help them be successful. And so to create a lot of propulsion, you need big surface areas to move athletes forward. One more example here. Again, big surface area moving backwards. So we're going to see the same principles here in action with backstroke. You can see right there, there's a big surface area that's moving backwards. And so that whole arm is being used to pull as opposed to just the hand. So the whole forearm, the whole arm is oriented backwards, and that's helping the athlete move forwards. And so to create a lot of propulsion, there needs to be a big surface area. You can see that here with this athlete right there, big surface area that's moving backwards. Another athlete here from a different angle, you can see that arm right there, right towards the bottom there, and that's moving straight back. And then right here, you can see a big surface area, that hands pointing out to the side, arm moving back. One more athlete here. Again, big surface area, pulling backwards, again, orienting the whole arm so it's facing backwards and then pulling straight backwards. Take a look at butterflies here. So right there, now you've got a big surface area, the whole forearm, the whole arm's being used to move the athlete forward. You can see in both these frames, the athlete on the left here, right, is getting a great big forearm action there, and the same thing with the athlete right in front of us. Again, right there, there's a big surface area. That whole forearm is being used to pull right there, pull the athlete forward. It's not just the hands, it's the whole forearm and the whole arm. Right there, the whole surface area of the arm and the forearm, or the hand and the forearm, is being used to move the athlete forward. Again, another athlete. Right there, both forearms are being used to move the athlete forward. We'll take a look at the same thing with sprint butterflies. So there, again, whole arm, big surface area to move the athlete forward. Another athlete, big surface area, moving straight back to move them straight forward. Again, here from a different angle. Right there, you can see the whole arms being used to create propulsion. So now we'll take a look at it at breaststroke, and we'll see the same thing with the upper body. So athlete swimming forward. So right here, you can see the whole arm is being used to pull the athlete forward. Really big surface area, creating a lot of propulsion. So female athlete here, and again, moving right into a position right here. The whole forearms and the hands are being used to move the athlete forward by pulling straight backwards. So really helpful to get a big surface area here in breaststroke. It's not that different than any of the other strokes. It's the same basic position that athletes are getting into. Last athlete here, again, big, strong position right there, pulling straight back with a big surface area. You can see the whole arm is getting engaged and the whole arm is working here. So now with breaststroke, what's also important is creating a lot of force and a lot of propulsion with the legs, especially. So you can see here, the feet are outside the knees, and that's going to allow the whole shin to right there. You can see the shin is moving backwards, and the feet and the shin makes the surface area that much bigger so that they can create even more propulsion. Right there, that's going to be really effective at creating a ton of propulsion. Watch the athlete here. So feet turn out. You can see that they're outside the knees and then kicking straight back using the whole shin and the foot to create propulsion. So same concepts, it's just a different action. So right there, the whole leg is being used. That whole lower leg, more so the feet than the shins, but the shins are still contributing, and the foot is really turned out so it can maximize propulsion. So breaststroke kick from another angle here, and here you can really see the feet turn out right there, and the whole shin, especially the top half of the shin, is being used to create propulsion in conjunction with the foot, and everything's moving backwards, so a big surface area moved backwards. So with dolphin kicking too, it's about creating a big surface area moving backwards, and if you watch the athlete in front here, you can see right here the whole foot and a big portion of the shins are oriented backwards, and that's a big surface area to kick with. It's not just the feet, it's the feet and the shins, and the feet and the shins are both being oriented backwards so that a big surface area can be used instead of a relatively small one. And that's going to be really critical to being really effective underwater and fast in the kicking. So same thing here. Again, big surface area right here is being pushed backwards. The whole foot is being used. The flexibility of the ankles really plays a key here. And the shins are being used as well. And that's going to be really important. And the more surface area that can be oriented backwards, the faster athletes are going to swim underwater. So again, right here, you can see big surface area that's moving backwards. Right there. See the feet, the shins, everything's moving backwards, and it's throwing water backwards, moving the athlete forward. Okay, one last athlete here. Same thing. Right there, you can see everything is directed backwards so that the athlete goes forward. So big surface area means they can move more water with each stroke. So we went over a bunch of different videos from different strokes, and you can see the same basic principles are going to be in play. And so in all the strokes, with the arms and the legs, the athletes are creating a big surface area and they're orienting it backwards so that they can move forwards. And so the bigger the surface area, that means more water can be moved with each stroke or each kick. And the more water that can be moved with each stroke or each kick, the more speed that can be created by the athletes. And so one of the key principles in swimming is to create a lot of propulsion, and doing so requires creating a big surface area with which to move water with. And athletes are using the same basic strategies in all of the strokes to create positions where the whole arm, the whole forearm, and the hand can all be oriented backwards for as long as possible. And the same thing with the legs, with the breaststroke kick, with flutter kicks, with fly kicks. It's the same basic thing. What changes is how it's slightly adapted to the rules of the stroke and the anatomy of the arm or the leg. And specific athletes are going to have to adapt to their specific anatomy too. And in all cases, what you get are positions that move a lot of water backwards so that a lot of speed can be created. I hope that's helpful, and we'll touch on another aspect of creating propulsion in the next video.